Sydney, mother city of the up-and-coming Commonwealth of Australia, and founded by Captain Phillip, a British naval officer, in 1788. Today, Sydney is a thriving modern metropolis of 1.5 million white inhabitants, and is the terminal point of the great Pacific Skyway between the Antipodes and the North American continent. The Pacific is a mighty broad ocean. 20 years ago, Charles Kingsford Smith, with CTP Elm and the Americans Warner and Lyon, flew the Pacific for the first time from San Francisco to Brisbane in the old Southern Cross. Today, 2 airlines span the Pacific, and every day, not less than 4 giant planes are in the air between North America and Australia and New Zealand. We're going to fly that route. But the plane we're going to fly is no old bus. It's a modern Skymaster, able to carry 36 passengers and a crew of 9 on its 8,500-mile flight across the Pacific. The 3 motors of the Southern Cross developed a total of only 600 horsepower. Our 4 developed 2,500 each. A warning beacon flashes into the night above the control room at Kingsford Smith Airport, Sydney, and Australia lies behind, Vancouver ahead. It's 1,980 miles to the Fiji Islands, but we're gliding in languid comfort over clouds silvered by the moon. The Skymaster carries quite a crew, and this is so passengers may know them by name. Our Skymaster is called Discovery, after one of the ships in which Captain James Cook discovered Australia in 1770. But Cook didn't have hostesses like Mavis Harrison and Pat Deverell. They're a much more recent discovery. Dawn, and we're approaching our first stop, the island of Viti Levu, Great Fiji. There are 300 islands in the group, but we're making for the main one, coming in to land on Nandi Airport. There's a whole day in front of us, so let's go sightseeing. And first in range are picturesque Fijian native policemen. N-A-D-I is pronounced Nandi in the Fijian language. Fijians are Melanesians, and a fuzzy hairdo is considered a mark of rare beauty. Tropical fruits thrive in Fiji's rich volcanic soil, and the crew thrive on tropical fruit. Mavis and Pat stock up with green bananas, which will ripen further along the Transpacific route. Fiji produces a big annual crop of cane sugar, and much of the labor on the fields is provided by Hindus. And that's the closest those kids ever get to a candy bar. Pineapples, too, are a major crop, but they're not in season just now, and Mavis and Pat are out of luck. But let's get going, girls. We have an audience with the chief of the village of Visese. The chief's out, but here's his wife. It's really most embarrassing catching a girl like this. If I'd only known you were coming, I'd have put my plate in. But there's not much time left. Well, yes, there's always time to nurse a baby. And with Fiji's population, particularly its Indian people, increasing, there's no shortage of babies. Fijians who were headhunters within living memory are today happy, contented, and good-natured. But there's one kid whose grandfather ate missionaries, even his singlets holy. So it's goodbye to Fiji, and off on the next stage of our flight. When Kingsford Smith and his crew flew this route, they faced a 3,300-mile ocean hop from Honolulu to Fiji, landing at great risk on a small sports field. Today, there's an intermediate stop at Canton Island. As we fly on, the moon sweeps its silvered brush to paint the edges of fleecy tropical clouds. Hawaii below, Waikiki Beach, Honolulu. Yes, there it is in reality as we come into land on the island of Oahu. In this land of sunshine, natives have no word for weather. It's always the same. Palatial hotels cater for tourists in thousands, but Mavis and Pat want to find out if Waikiki is as good as the tourist posters say. The surf's gentle inside the reef, with long, lazy rollers providing ideal chutes for canoes and surfboards. Native Hawaiians offer friendly advice, but these girls are at home in much rougher water than Waikiki can provide. They've come 5,000 miles for this, and they're not going to miss a minute of it. We've another treat in store. In the magnificent gardens of the Niamaru Hotel, 2 Hawaiian dancers perform their traditional hula. Meanings of some of the dances have been lost in antiquity, but graceful rhythmic movements with hips and hands express a meaning as old as Hawaii itself.
Lovely hula hands, graceful as a bird in motion, gliding like the gulls over the ocean. Lovely hula hands, soaring around the earth.
But it's aloha Honolulu, as in the late afternoon we take off on the last stage of our trip. We've a new crew, and new hostesses adjust the slumber seats. With girls like this to smooth the pillows, it's no wonder 15,000 people cross the Pacific each year by air. And so to sleep, to dream of hula girls, or the hostess. And in the morning, America. That's San Francisco ahead, Eastern Gateway to the United States. The famous Golden Gate Bridge is under cloud, but we see the Treasure Island Bridge as the plane circles into land. Yes, it's quite a bridge, and that's only half of it. But our stay is short. We're on our way north towards Mount Shasta and the giant Shasta Storage Dam. Melting snow in these mountains provide water to irrigate some of the richest land in the United States, plus hydroelectric power. Sydney to Vancouver by air. Airmen are helping to forge a strong Transpacific link. Vancouver's modern City Hall is typical of its fine buildings. And just in case you've forgotten, Vancouver is in Canada. Streets are wide and modern, for Vancouver's the 4th largest city in Canada and its chief seaport. The transport system is good, with modern buses gradually replacing the streetcars. Ringed by mountains, Vancouver has a plentiful water supply and generates hydroelectricity. Vancouver's British, but the American influence is there just the same. There's plenty to see just outside Vancouver, and no lack of transport in special tourist trolleys. This city of 500,000 people is proud of its parks and gardens, doesn't hesitate to show them off. English beach on English Bay. When it's sunny, thousands flock to the water. But Vancouver has a heavy annual rainfall, so we must have picked the annual sunny day. The Lions Gate Bridge across the neck of the nearby Straits of Georgia spans the port entrance. And Vancouver has fine types of modern suburban homes. An Indian totem pole, carved no doubt centuries ago, impresses the colorful history of Canada. Vancouver is a beautiful climax to an intensely interesting journey. 8,500 miles in 42 hours flying time. Kingsford Smith took 82 from San Francisco. Today, Across the trail he blazed, planes carry thousands in safety and comfort. That's the only reward Smith would want. The Pacific, conquered by air.